Tennessee, for some reason, and its fan base is trying to destroy a quarterback who did nothing but lose to them. Can you pull up that tweet? Is that by Wes Rucker? Rucker's he's gotten a lot of mentions on the
It
program
is.
today. Welcome
It
back. Hit
is.
the like and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that. Can you pull up that tweet? Because Will Levis, by the way, uh, led the Titans back last second, and but it was just a fantastic finish for Levis in his career. But apparently, that's not exactly what a lot of Tennessee fans are thinking. As let me pull this up. As Wes Rucker, our friend at GoVols 24/7, pulls up. Don't think any. I can't read that. That's too small for me.
So somebody responded to Wes Rucker because Wes Rucker was questioning Will Levis. Vol fans quiet and butthurt that Levis won. Don't think, and Wes Rucker responds. Don't think anyone who's a legit Fall fan and legit Titan fan ever wanted him to be bad. Many of them just didn't think he was a good pick. If he proves to be good, they'll love him. All kinds of non-SEC Vols on the Titans roster. I think I'm going to say just non-Vols, but either way, the point being is this. There is an idea going around that because Levis is the type of young quarterback, good or bad, Dave, you know this. Rookie quarterbacks get a lot of love and backing and support from their fan base who want to believe in their future, right?
Right.
There has been a groundswell of Titans fans. This is the first time where the fan base believes in the rookie quarterback less than the national media does. And it's very clear that the Titans fans don't believe in Will Levis as much as the national media does. Now, the working theory is that because Kentucky is a SEC East rival, which is not true, but that working theory is because of that, Titans fans are rooting against Will Levis. I will say this. It is half true that the crossover of Titans and Vols fans is why they don't believe in Will Levis. But it's not because they're rooting against him. It's because they saw him play in college. Okay? We all saw him play who cover SEC football. And he's not that good. And the issues that plagued him in college were plaguing him in the NFL. What we said about Will Levis, Dave, and you can back me up because you probably said it too. Unlike Joe Milton, Will Levis has perfect touch on his throws and is very accurate when he throws the ball, right? He can make the right throws. He can make great throws. The only problem with Will Levis is his pocket presence and decision-making is horrible. He doesn't know when to audible. He doesn't know where to step in the pocket. So what he does is he makes a great throw, but then he makes so many bad decisions to go with it. So national media doesn't understand that Titans fans would love... Look, guys, NFL fan bases don't care where the colleges that their players came from. They want to win. I don't care how much of a fan they are of their college football team. Honestly, you think Falcons fans are saying don't draft this player? He went to Florida, and I'm a Georgia fan. One of the Titans' favorite players early on was Javon Curse, who came from Florida and gave Peyton Manning hell when he was at Tennessee. And so, do you guys really think Titans fans are rooting against Will Levis? No, we just know, and I say this as a Titans fan, what we saw, and last night doesn't change that. Because last night, Miami was up 27-13. Will Levis threw a pick six on a screen to a big man, and then he threw a bad pitch to Derrick Henry to fumble. I was happy. I was congratulating him because I wanted to lose. And I'm like, that was a great team effort to try to lose that game. But then Miami, because NFL teams, Dave, do this all the time, and it boggles my mind why they do this. They change up their defensive schemes the last two drives of the game and deviate from what they've been doing the whole game. Miami played soft zone, soft coverage. Tennessee goes and scores 2 touchdowns and wins the game. But Levis, Titans fans not believing in him has nothing to do with the fact that most of them are Vol fans. I mean, well, it does, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have anything to do with them rooting against Levis. It's just because they saw enough of him play in college.
Well, there's a lot of things at play there. For one, the Tennessee Titans, and you may or may not know this, they still have their corporate headquarters in Houston. So I don't know that they've ever really committed to Tennessee. So that means I don't think that they have a real feel for the room. And they didn't realize how disliked Will Levis was. I agree with you. If you go in there and win, nobody's going to care. But the fact that the Titans showed early with Joey Kent getting drafted that they wanted to build some PR, I believe, because I thought Joey Kent was overvalued by the Titans, frankly. And I think that with Levis, the PR wasn't good because so many Tennessee Volunteer fans that were Titans fans had seen him play. But I mean, at some point you have to leave that behind. And he wasn't good at Kentucky. I don't think he's good. However, I'm not ready to completely pass judgment on him because he dealt with a lot of injuries his senior year, and he's playing at Kentucky, which is at best the top half talented teams in the SEC, probably like the bottom half. So, but they're in the middle of the pack somewhere. So I'm not sure Will Levis isn't going to be good. I'm curious as to our message board. What player did you most root against because of his SEC play or even Tennessee play? I don't root against anybody. To me, it's just bad karma, as Taylor Swift once said. But if Tennessee fans want to root against Tyler Bray, I got no problem with that. I know he's done now, but if they wanted to root against him, I got no problem with that whatsoever. Are there other people you would root against because of what they did to Tennessee? How about Jabbar Gaffney? I bet you don't like seeing him catch a bunch of touchdown passes, do you? What are some other names, Caleb, that you think Tennessee's fan base just absolutely would love to not only do poorly in the NFL, and we're not talking about injuries, but we're talking about have a long 10, 12-year NFL career in which, for instance, Jabbar Gaffney drops a lot of passes, but manages to be on the roster, is incredibly disliked because when a fan base in the NFL turns on you, they never come back. Who are some guys? Jesse Palmer gets a vote from Smoky Mountain Red. Who else do you just root against that made the NFL either previously or now, if you're a Tennessee football fan?
I need to say this before I get to this because I got some names, but Will Levis was hurt because of the way he plays. Dave, you missed it last night. He scrambled on a play and he lowered his shoulder into Jalen Ramsey. You know how stupid that is?
I know. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
So that's not, so he's already not going to last in the NFL because he does stupid things like that. So, okay. As far as names.
Here's a tight one from Dylan. This is what I'm looking for. Henry To'o is playing for the, what? How'd I do on that?
You did it good. You did it right.
Yeah, I know. I just like making fun of myself. Henry To'o is playing for the Texans, and the Titans play them next week, hoping Derek trucks him into next week. There you go, by the way, Dylan.
Dylan just proved my point. If you think Tennessee reflexively roots against rival players in the NFL, why do they love Derrick Henry so much? Who was a Heisman winner where? At Alabama. Who do fans in Tennessee hate more, Alabama or Kentucky? So that's a great point. You made two good points right there, Dylan. You are the hero of the day because you mentioned Derek and you made me think of that, and you brought up Henry To'o. That's a good one.
I'll tell you the other thing that I think was a real factor is I think a lot of people didn't like Tim Tebow because of the success he had, and they thought that was a team gone rogue, which it was. And he did play the religious card a lot, which he has lived up to. He has not had a stumble along the way. So I think, and now we have to respect that. A lot of people say things about religion and then they don't live up to it.
That was going to play poor nation, though. That wasn't going to play poorly among Tennessee fans. I mean, or East Tennessee.
No, but I think there was. I was talking more about some of the members of the media.
National media. Yeah, they were. Yeah. Well, there were some other aspects about Tim Tebow. I think the circus created around Tim Tebow. Look, I believed in Tim Tebow. I thought he deserved a chance. But when you saw like the 700 Club going out there saying it was divine him winning, that was sickening. I hate it when people say that it's divine when you're winning football games. God doesn't care who wins football games.
Well, yeah, and it's absurd to say that he was, and it's also absurd to say he was going to be a good NFL quarterback. I could look at that guy and see that he had issues. Yeah. Some of the same ones, quite frankly, that Joe Milton had, and that's accuracy. What about this one? I want to get your thoughts on it. Hunter says Jarrett Garantano, maybe?
That's not fair. Jarrett Garantano, yes, he struggled at Tennessee, but guys, Dave, will you back me on this? He was in a bad situation at Tennessee with where he was. I think that's very unfair to him. Now, some might say that with Tyler Bray, but Tyler Bray had rare arm talent, and at least the offense was good when Tyler Bray was there. I mean, he was thrown to two NFL receivers, had an NFL offensive line backing him. So I can't go with Jared Garantano. I will say this. You know who actually was really good in the NFL from Tennessee, who I felt Tennessee fans never really embraced when he was in the pros? And I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, was Arian Foster.
Mm.
And he was one of Tennessee's best players in the NFL.
He was, and I don't think Tennessee fans ever liked Arian Foster.
They didn't.
And yeah, there are a lot of reasons why, but some untimely fumbles. If you actually go back, and I wrote a story on this, and I still remember they headlined it "Fumbling Foster," which the headline just steals everything that you've written away at times when it's that inappropriate. He did fumble, but it wasn't. Somebody else remembers that headline, "Fumbling Foster," but he didn't fumble an inordinate amount. They were just poorly timed. I mean, as many times as he touched the ball, both in terms of running the ball and receptions, he didn't really fumble. I wrote a whole story on it, did the ratio of other guys. He didn't really fumble that much more, but it was just the worst time you could possibly fumble, right?
Yep. You're right. He rarely fumbled, honestly. So it's kind of funny you bring that up because you're right. He rarely fumbled. It was just the times he did were absolutely brutal times. And also, a lot of them were, so the Penn State game, that was an unforced fumble. Like, it was just a standard handoff over the middle.
Yeah. He had another one against South Carolina that I can't remember.
Eric Young recovered. That would have lost Tennessee the game.
Right. Who recovered it again?
Eric Young, the offensive tackle, recovered it. Heads up play, the offensive lineman.
I thought it was the kid from Chattanooga. I don't get caught up on. I thought it was anyway. Whoever they recovered it, but that would have been the nail in I can't stand you coffin. By the way, Arian Foster, the only player that I've ever covered that went out of his way to say, "Hey, I want to be on your radio show," which I thought, "Hey, that's super cool." Maybe we're growing here. Maybe we're really exploring. And instead, he just wanted to be on my radio show to threaten me to a boxing match.
Oh my gosh! But here's the funny part about this, Dave. You know what's funny? Let's just go Tennessee running backs because Tennessee is running back you for a while. Arian Foster.
For the record, I would have whipped that. No, I wouldn't have. I'd have got beat down. Go ahead.
Tennessee. We always talk about wide receiver you or whatever. They had a string of Pro Bowl running backs from Charlie Garner through Arian Foster and even Alvin Kamara because you had Charlie Garner, Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, Arian Foster. I mean, I'm naming superstar running backs in the NFL. Now, Charlie Garner, I got no issues with. He's a good dude. But Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, Arian Foster, Alvin Kamara. Arian Foster is the least liked of those four, but he's probably the only one that has had no off-field issues since he's gotten to the NFL.
You know who I think would have been disliked, if not for, I don't know, a national championship, is Jamal Lewis. I thought in '99 that he kind of melded in to keep himself healthy for the NFL. I didn't think he was ready to go in that Kentucky game late. If you remember, Travis Henry got hurt and he had to get put in the game.
It was a Vanderbilt game.
Was it the Vanderbilt game? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he was good and done. And if Tennessee didn't have a national championship under their pocket, of which he didn't really contribute to because he got hurt in September, I think he would have been one of those guys like, yeah, didn't get what you wanted to out of him.
Well, remember, midway through the 99 season, people wanted Travis Henry starting over Jamal Lewis because whatever you felt about I'll say this about Tennessee fans, Dave. You got to give them this. They can recognize heart versus talent. As Butch Jones would say, 5-star heart. And whatever you think about Travis Henry off the field, man, he ran hard, didn't he? Did any running back have more heart than Travis Henry?
No.
The way he played?
No, absolutely not.
And the same, by the way, I think that
definitely no more children.
Exactly. That's true. That's why I said all field. Mid-2000s. You brought up Arian Foster. You know who was teammates with Arian Foster? Montario Hardesty. Dave, I can tell you this. Every Tennessee fan preferred Montario Hardesty to Foster, even though Foster was better. Because
Don't do the numbers in your head. Don't do the numbers in your head. But who do you think has more of this? Travis Henry children or Off the Hook Sports employees? You just had a guess right now.
Oh, I'm trying to. Okay, I'm going to say Travis Henry children at this moment.
I actually know that it's dead even.